Hi guys, it's Leslie and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm just going to go over my TBR for the Biannual Bibliothon. Now the Biannual Bibliothon is a read along, a video challenge, a thon. There's also blogger challenges and Instagram challenges, so it sort of encompasses all of the reading community online, and I'm excited. I did it back in January, so you can go back and watch some of those videos. Super cringy, but fun, at least fun for me. And I'm hoping to do the video challenges, but I'm finding filming with my family home a lot more in the summer is extremely difficult. So I'm filming in a different area at a weird time of day. Could be dark. Clearly I just got out of the shower and my husband and one of the kids are napping, the other one is in his room, so I got a few minutes to do this. So I don't know how the video challenges are gonna work out. Might have to send my kids to my parents' house. That's how dedicated I am, people. No, really, they're just fun, and it's like such a silly thing to do that I kind of can't resist. But this video is about the books I plan on reading, and this TBR is lofty. I would be really surprised if I read maybe half of what I had on here just based on my last couple of months reading habits, but I'm in the mood, I'm feeling pumped, I like challenges, so we will see how it goes. I will also link in the description all of the channel, whatever, for the Biannual Bibliothon, I guess the channel for it, and the dates and stuff like that if you're interested in joining along. All right, let's get into it. The Bibliothon does start on the 14th. I think that's a Saturday. So it'll start on a Saturday and ends on the following Friday. And let's just get into the challenges. The first one is to read the group book, and this group book is called The Wicked Deep. I don't know who the author is offhand. I'm getting it from the library. Hopefully it'll come in the next week. And this is kind of like a witch story, I think. So I think it's a little bit of a mystery, but it's sort of fantastical. I don't know, sounds actually kind of interesting and something very different than I've read. As I've said in previous videos as well, that I've not had a good track record this year with fantasy. So something that's clearly more fantasy than what I'm used to reading. I think this will be a nice change of pace. I hope it's engrossing, so we'll see. So that's the first book on my TBR. The second challenge is to read a book from someone else's TBR. And this one I think is actually kind of funny for me because I checked out a book based on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. He was talking about like 5 books to read this summer, and one of them sounded pretty interesting to me. I'd never heard of it. So I'm saying this is from Jimmy Fallon's summer TBR. Whether or not he reads it, I don't know. But that is IQ by Joe Ide. I don't know a ton about it. I'm pretty sure it's a mystery, and the main dude is like a high school dropout, and somehow he gets sort of recruited to help solve the mystery. I don't know, sounding kind of interesting, so that will be what I will read for challenge number 2. The third challenge is to read one chapter from 3 different books and then pick which one you want to read from there. And I like this because sometimes I feel like you either like read the book and commit all the way through, or you, if you're me, you DNF like immediately or even halfway through. And this one is sort of like read a chapter, see if you're feeling it, and if not, put it down and don't stress out about it. So for this, I have actually a kind of a random array of books that I want to eventually read. So we're gonna try the first chapter of each of these. The first one is E.F. Benson's Queen Lucia. This is actually 2 books, Queen Lucia and Miss Mapp. This is actually a classic. It's basically about 2 women who are pretty domineering and forceful, but it is the 1920s and it takes place in England, and they kind of dislike each other. So, and there's like a whole series. I think there are more than just these 2, but if I like the first chapter of Queen Lucia, then I will read that one. I'm not worried about reading Miss Mapp right now. The second book I'm going to read a chapter from is called The Not So Boring Letters of Private Nobody. This is by Matthew Landis. This is a middle grade story, and it's about kids who have an assignment, or one of the kids is like obsessed with the Civil War, and then they have an assignment to sort of research it, and he has to do this assignment with a girl that he doesn't really like, and stuff happens, and it just sounds kind of cute. If you're not aware, or you're new to my channel, I read a lot of World War II history or nonfiction, and this one is Civil War, so I thought maybe I would like it as well, and it sounds kind of cute. So I'm gonna try the first chapter of that. And the last book is a book I just picked up on a whim from the library, and that is The Midwife of Hope River by Patricia Harmon. This is basically about a midwife practicing in Appalachia. Is that how you say it? Appalachia? Whatever. Those mountains over in the east during the Depression. And it's written by an actual midwife, so that's pretty cool. And I think it sounds really good. I loved Call the Midwife, even though I've not finished the entire series, but I really did like that show, and I thought maybe this book would be nice. And it has kind of these short chapter breaks by different characters, but it just sounded kind of interesting, so try a chapter of that. So out of those three, we'll see which one grabs my attention the most, and I will read that book. The next challenge is read a book that's been on your TBR for over a year, and this one I didn't know, so I just looked back through my Goodreads, and a book that people have been talking about, and or at least it's gotten a lot of really good reviews, is The Unseen World by Liz Moore. I actually downloaded the audiobook of this, so that one I should be able to get to no matter what, because I'm pretty good at listening to audiobooks when I have other stuff to just do around the house. So that one, it has been on my TBR for at least a year, maybe longer. The next challenge is read a book with a predicted 5-star review. So find a book that you think you'll really, really like and go with that. This one I picked a weird book, I think, and to be honest, I don't know if I will give it 5. Like, it doesn't scream 5-star review, but it does scream I will be very interested in the writing style and just the overall story, and that is The Lord of the Flies by William Golding. I'm sure some of you out there are like, that's the worst book that's ever been written. I never had to read it for school, and I really just know that it's kind of boys on a desert island who are dropped off and really terrible things happen, but for some reason it just is really interesting. Maybe because I love the TV show Survivor, just not quite the same thing, but it is sort of erecting a society out of nothing and seeing what things prevail and how our human nature works. So for some reason, I feel like I could actually love this, or I will just be really interested in the writing, like how it's written. We'll see. Leave in the comments below if I'm gonna like this or not, based on maybe other things that I've read. Another challenge is read an Own Voices book. So for mine, I picked, and I hope this kind of counts because it's a memoir, but it's clearly an Own Voices because it's a memoir, but also it's very different than me. So I thought this would be interesting, and that is Persepolis by Marjane Satrapi. I probably just murdered that name. I remember hearing about this when it was nominated for an Academy Award, and maybe it actually won. I don't know if it did, but this is a graphic novel about a woman's childhood in Iran, and it's during the Islamic Revolution. I really know nothing about this, and that's sad. I probably should, but I'm interested. I'm pretty sure this gets great reviews since it was made into a movie. So that one I'll definitely be reading for the Own Voices challenge. And the last challenge is just read the last book you bought. As I've also said on this channel multiple times, I really don't buy books. I'm super cheap and I love my library, so I don't really have too much reason to buy books, and I'm not a rereader for the most part. I don't pick books up more than once to read them. But I do have a book that I've kind of been hesitant to read because this one is pretty near and dear to my heart, and that is called Life Animated by Ron Suskind. And this is probably something people have never even heard of, maybe, but it's about this man, Ron Suskind, has a son who's autistic, and he didn't talk after he turned 2, and he basically found a way to communicate with the son found a way to communicate with other people through animation, specifically Disney movies. He would quote lines from that or use the lines he had heard other characters using to communicate with his family. And I heard Ron Suskind talk like a thing here in our town, and I was just very touched. And as I've said before, both of my sons are autistic and both of them are nonverbal, but they love Disney, so I think this will obviously really relate to me, and I think I probably won't get through much of it without bawling my eyes out. So I have been a little bit hesitant to read it, but this has also been made into a documentary, which I also own and have not watched for the same reasons. But I did read a New York Times article about it a while ago, probably a couple of years ago, and it's just incredible, really. So I have actually read a couple of the chapters, and yeah, it was hard. But I really want to read it. This is definitely the last book, at least to my knowledge, that I've bought, like a physical book, and it's just time. It's time for me to read it. So I hope I can get to it. Those are all the challenges. That's my TBR. It's a bit ridiculous to read all of those books, and they're all like larger-ish books to read in a week. So chances are I'm not going to get to all of them. And I also am actually going on a little family vacation for a couple of the days at the end of the week. So if I'm going to read these, it's going to be like next weekend is going to be real deep into those books. So we'll see. We'll see how much I can get done. I'm actually looking really forward to try to push myself to read as much as I can, and should be fun. Hopefully I will get the video challenges filmed this week, and we will see. Let me know if you've read any of these books. Let me know if you're interested in any like reviews of any of them that I've read. And if you are participating, let me know so that I can go check out your TBRs or any of your video challenges. And I guess have a good week. See you later.